What's up, gamers? Today we're going to be talking about garrison orders and my just issue with them and why Paradox's intended use of garrison orders isn't really that good. And there's a much better way to use garrison orders, and there's a much better way to garrison your coastline than using garrison orders. Um, so yeah, let's just dive into it. First, we'll start off with how Paradox intends people to use garrison orders and why they're just not really that great. Now, Paradox expects you, to have an army of up to 72 divisions and just click what states you want to have a garrison order on and probably disable all of these. Usually it starts off with all these enabled. Probably disable all of these except coastline and ports, which makes a lot of sense, right? You want to guard, the tiles next to your ports and your ports. But there's no button for just the tiles next to your ports. So you end up in situations where tiles like this are garrisoned where if the Allies naval invaded this, it really doesn't matter because there's no port here and there's no port here. So they're probably going to run out of supply by the time they get to a port. Now, unless the Allies are invading with like 100 divisions and they're invading every single tile, then that might be an issue. But, it's probably not going to happen. Another issue with the garrison order is that if you naval invade, other your other units on your garrison order will move around. And I'll show you right now what I mean by that. See, a division from this tile moved onto this tile, and a division here is moving all the way over to Antwerp. Now the issue with this is that you're just leaving tiles open. Like that's a very useful tile to defend, especially because that's a plains tile, and in a in a single player game, it's not a big deal. But in a multiplayer game, someone like US or Australia or anybody really could set up a naval invasion of this tile within a couple days, naval invade it, and then this tile is definitely going to fall. Even if you have coastal forts, it won't matter because they landed on this empty tile and they're attacking you now with no debuff from coastal forts. Um, Another issue with the garrison order is that you get a lot of divisions in tiles you don't need. Like tiles you don't need divisions in. Like you don't need any divisions really in Denmark besides a couple on this port, a couple here, maybe a couple guarding that tile there. But all these tiles here are completely useless to defend because there's no ports around them, you know. And I've seen in a couple multiplayer games, the Allies naval invade here and they snake all the way over to like one of these ports, and they just end up dying, all right, because they don't have supply and you still control the strait at the end of the day. So it's just not really useful to have 9 divisions here and having a ton of divisions in Norway too. Like if you look, there's 13 divisions in Norway, but there's only about 10 in northern France. If you count all of this, there's about 16. It's about the same, but you know all these you can probably take half of these Norway divisions and pretty much all of these Denmark divisions and put them in northern France, but you can't because the garrison order likes to spread out stuff out evenly. Now, but there's a solution to that, and that is by actually once your divisions are in place, you you uncheck all of the boxes so you still keep that 72 army cap, and then you can freely move divisions without them moving back. So you can grab, all these Danish divisions and move them over here. Yeah, you can move all these Danish divisions over here, and as you'll see in a second, they won't move back. Yeah, they won't move back, so you can, put them individually on these tiles and still keep that 72 general cap. And that is probably the best way to use the garrison order for defending, is to actually disable all these here, because these things here only really mess you up. Now, an easy way to set up a garrison for, let's say, France is by grabbing one division, making a new army, and clicking C and right click, and you can set up all these little orders here. And we'll just do up to here for this example. And when you grab, the army of all your other divisions that you want to have on garrison and add them to this army of one division, it will equally spread the divisions out on every tile, which I'm sure you can see the use for. And once all the divisions move, honestly, I don't really care if all the Norway divisions get over here or not. Once all these divisions move, you can delete the order, add your general back, and put another garrison order on. Disable all of these, of course. And then you're good. You can freely move these divisions around. You don't have to worry about them moving around when your opponents invade you. You know, even for a meme invasion, you know, someone could always naval invade here, and then some divisions, you know, if you have a regular garrison order set up, some divisions can move. You know, they can move from over here too. I've seen that, and you know, you could really get your defenses and stuff messed up because of like a meme invasion over here that attracts a bunch of divisions on the garrison order. That's just something to be mindful of. And yeah, that's just why the regular intended use of the garrison order is a bit flawed. Now I'm going to show you the probably the most useful way to use the garrison order. And it wasn't really known for a while in Hearts of Iron 4, but I think nowadays most people know about it, and that's the tank general garrison order. I don't know if people call it that or something else, but I'll just show you what it is. I covered it in a previous video before, but basically what it is you grab it's getting planning bonus on your tanks without having them attached to a front line, which is very useful, and a lot of servers do allow it, if not all of them. I've seen a couple servers ban it before in the past, but I think nowadays everyone, you know, allows it. And what you do is pretty simple. Like the example over here where I just use a garrison order there. It's like a random tile in Portugal. Uh, you can even do it in your own country and just disable everything. But yeah, you pick a random state in Afghanistan, set up a garrison order there. Then you grab your field marshal and set up a front line with the general on the garrison order. And then what that will do is you get passive planning bonus. Because your troops are on the front line, it's on like the general front line, or like the field marshal front line, but under a general who's not attached to any front line. And I'm sure it makes sense on how it works to some people. If not, it's all good. It's just pretty straightforward. As long as you understand, what it does, you'll be able to see how powerful it is. Just getting this passive planning bonus whenever you're on the front line. It doesn't work though if you're behind the front line. And that's pretty obvious. If you go behind the front line, you're not going to be gaining planning bonus anymore. You're going to be obviously losing planning bonus because that's how planning bonus works. You lose it if you're not on the front line. Yeah, I don't have too much more to say about the garrison order and planning bonus in general. Yeah, if you like this video, leave a like. If you have any suggestions for what you want me to cover in the future, let me know. And hopefully the mic volume on this video is turned up a bit more. I'm kind of terrible when it comes to like making YouTube videos, so yeah, my mic quality might be, or the mic like sound might be a bit quiet again. It should be a bit louder though this time. I did turn my mic up a lot. But yeah, just let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like, fucking subscribe, tell your friends. We're on the road to 100 subs, baby. Let's go. Woo!